There are several Android emulators and IDE. Most popular among them is the Android Studio. The Android Studio is the official IDE for Android application development. Eclipse used to be the IDE for Android application development. Now a lot of people actually use the Android Studio. Now you can download this application from the link that I am showing on my screen. Once you download the Android Studio, then you run the installer. So you will be asked to either import the settings from a previous version of the Studio. In my case, I didn't have a previous version installed on my system. Click Next. Then you select the install type, and in my example, I have used the standard install. Once you verify the settings, the installer will download that latest SDK components and the emulator itself. Once it's finished, you will see the welcome screen, and then you actually start your new Android Studio project. So let's start. So you entered an application name and the company domain. You can also modify the project location. In my case, I am actually leaving it to the default parameters. Then you select the form factor that your app will actually run on. So in my case, I am selecting a phone and tablet. You can also specify the minimum SDK version, and in here I have selected Android 7.1.1. But you can select version 8 as well. It's completely up to you. Then the Android Studio will then install all the required components. Now you can add different components or activities to your application there. You can actually see the different internal and external libraries that are available for you to start building your application. I know that this is not an Android application development course, but getting familiarized with the Android Studio won't hurt you. And it is also important for you to actually see how applications are constructed under the hood, so you can understand the security or the lack of security of those applications or the actual components. Now this is really good not only for pen testing but also for security research. Now let's see how to create an emulator. Click the AVD manager icon at the top of the Android Studio interface and then click on create virtual device. Then you choose a device definition. You have many different options to emulate, from phones to TVs to wearable devices like smartwatches and so on. And then once you actually choose the device definition, then you accept the license in terms of all the components that will be installed. Now in this case, I selected the Pixel phone. And now I am renaming it to Shubham. And there you go. You have a fully functional phone, and now you can actually start playing around with this virtual phone just as if you will be playing with a real physical device. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial.